Thank you for watching our video. This show is sponsored by DreamStream. DreamStream is a unique platform where creators can monetize their video content. All creators rely on support from people like you. Join us on the DreamStream platform to support your favorite creator and view the episode without any adverts. Follow the link in the description for a how-to guide. DreamStream, a place where you can create yourself.
Hello and welcome to the Good Vibes Only show here on DreamStream. I'm Kgoroeadira. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of the show. Today I am super excited because I'm joined by the award-winning content creator,
Yes.
Phayelo Shabalala. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super
I
excited.
forgot I won an award.
How can you forget such, babes?
No, because it happened last year already. So
I
one of
mean,
those. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's nice. It's nice to be here.
it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
Shoot, tell us a bit about yourself. I know a lot of people hate that question. People don't know how to answer that question. I, for one,
Yeah.
used to hate that question.
Yeah.
But tell me about, who Phayelo is, where you grew up, who you were as a little girl, all
So
that
yeah,
jazz.
we're taking it back.
We're taking it
Okay,
back.
so Dumela, Phayelo Shabalala. I know my people will kill me if I don't say that. So I'm a girl from a small town called Velkom. Velkom Thabo Masipala.
Yeah.
Locationing. I'm a Kasi girl. I grew up with my grandmother. She raised me. My mom and dad are still around, however. It's like the typical, I'm going to say, quote unquote, black living.
Yeah,
Kokasi,
yeah.
Where Mbazadi Bahao, they have you and then
They have to go work.
yeah, they have to go work, provide for you.
Yes.
And I was just raised by my dad's mom, Ketani Doreen Chabalala, God rest her soul. She raised me to being the woman that I am today. I'm literally like her personality.
Yeah.
That is her.
Nice.
So yeah, she raised me. And then my dad, he's in Bloem. He was around as well. His name Gepawa. He's got a nice little business called Mahungra in the
Okay.
Bloemfontein. So my family is full of entrepreneurs.
Yes.
My mom, Kisipati, she works right now. Lovely person. And then I was raised by my aunt as well, Bali Ratlo. She's literally my twin.
Yeah.
You think she's my mom, right? Yeah, so I was raised by those people most of the time. And my uncle Mtunzi, he's got a business as well in Valcom called Black Move. So I'm from a very business-based family. I went to a Muslim school for
Sure.
7 years. Yeah, so Valcom Islamic School, that's where I went to school. That's where I got my foundation.
Okay.
Well, before that I went to Hamangema, but I went to school there. And then, yeah, grew up go Velkomo and then went to college, go Velkom College, right? And then from there I went to UOFs for a while. And then things happened. Like,
Life happened.
We'll need a whole other show for what happened. But
Yeah.
there was very unsafe circumstances. Like there was breakings more than once. At some point, it was a lot. That deserves a story time.
Yeah.
And then from there onwards, Johannesburg.
Okay.
That's when my aunt was like, you know what, leave all that behind and come to Johannesburg. And God was so good at the time. I got accepted into Wits Plus. So I studied corporate governance and admin.
So
from
tell me,
there.
what are some of the things you learned from your family? Because, I mean, you say you come from a family that is filled with entrepreneurs,
Yeah, yeah.
So there are some key things that you should have learned from them.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, now I'm a new entrepreneur, literally 2 weeks.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's a thing. This whole entrepreneurship came from like way back. My grandfather, never met him. His name is Buk Chabalala. He was I'll call him an icon in our community because everybody knows Ubuk. They had businesses. They had
Yeah.
like dry cleaners at home and stuff like that. I would have loved to know more about what he
Yeah,
had done because
yeah.
he seemed to have been so influential to people back home. So I've learned the power of being consistent in what you're doing, seeing the ups, the lows. I've seen my dad going from, he went from like literally, he started his car wash with like buckets or something like that.
Yeah.
And with his career and
Consistency as
stuff,
well,
he
was-
took us to school. He made sure that we were fed and stuff.
Sure.
So one thing my dad has been there, he has been there for us. Like I've got a lot of siblings and stuff, but he's been there. He's been providing. He's been doing whatever he needs to do. So consistency and just showing up, being a good person.
Yeah.
And the humor. Like, honestly, my family is the best. Like,
It runs in the family.
listen, when we sit, we are constantly laughing.
Yeah.
We are constantly laughing. It's actually a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
So
Yeah.
when did your love then for content creation start?
So the love for content creation, sure. So my brother and my grandmother, God rest their souls, they passed away same year due to diabetes. So that was sort of a trigger for me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first place I went to check YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like, let's try how to lose weight loss for beginners, something like
In
that.
its
And
simplest form.
and I fell on a girl named Olivia Patrice. She is she's an international, I keep on saying international. She's not in South Africa. She's like in America or whatever. And she recorded her entire weight loss journey, right? So I was like, okay, I was inspired. You know, I was like, I'm going to record mine. But obviously, what triggered this is my grandmother and brother passing away. And I just want to give awareness to guys, take care of yourselves, you know? And that's where I started taking the camera, picking it up. I wish I could find my first video actually, because it was horrible.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, how did you start? I feel like a lot of people think that content creation is easy. You know, therefore it's easy to start. But how did you start? When was the time you took that decision to say, okay, let me pick up this camera vele and you know, start with this?
When I got exposed to South African YouTubers, I'm like, oh, this is a thing here.
Yeah.
I remember the first guy I saw was Sibu Mpanza and Tandi Gama. I think those were the two, and Mihlali, of course.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, Lina Lady Malela. I think she was. She
yeah.
came up with the weight loss things, because I think she had lost weight or something like that. I was like, this is now relatable to me. That means I can do it. Like the South African people that are doing this and they're actually successful in this, I'm gonna do it. So that's when I started. I'm like, okay, welcome back to my YouTube channel.
Not even.
I was speaking only English. Like that thing of just speaking Vanek and stuff was not a thing, and it was like 6 years ago when I started this whole thing. So I just took the phone, and then I put my phone there, you know, when you put a book, and I just started talking. And I got like 50 subscribers.
Okay.
And yeah, it has been a very slow progress since then.
Yeah.
And then I only started getting traction, honestly, about 2 years ago, if not a year ago.
So when you started, you were starting to gain followers, or this was just you just starting?
I was just like,
it is what it is. Let me start.
Let me just do it. Actually, my channel's name, the name was supposed to be for Linda. Linda is my brother. So I was going to do this in remembrance for him. I still have that channel called For Linda, but I never really put anything on it. And then I just used Paelo Chablala, and it just became what it is. Funny enough, I used to call myself Rainy Rain.
Funny enough, when I got your number, Mpo sent it to me as Rainy Rain. And she's like, excuse me, this is an old name.
Everybody knew me as Rain. So, but when I started Paelo.
Yeah.
So even now, like I am a name, but Paelo. It sounded like a stripper name or whatever, but it worked. It worked. Nikki Pisa Rain, and I thought, you know, it's funny. I'm scared of the rain anyway, so I don't know what I was thinking.
And now the evolution or the change from Rain to Paelo, from speaking just English to, you know, incorporating your culture. How did that then come about?
So that's when I introduced TikTok. I love that platform. I think it's my second love after YouTube, because YouTube is what started this whole thing.
Yes.
But I discovered TikTok, and everybody was just being themselves. You know, I was like, okay, I get it. And funny enough, I didn't really like TikTok. I thought it was for kids. You know? And then my little cousin, Nina, she's my best friend, Nina and Ketani. They used to you know, and then I was just like, what are you guys doing? Like, and Nina will show me like tricks. This is how you do it. Like, she'll show me like little things, you know. You know, I just felt, you know how our parents would feel. Like, how do you play this?
From A to Z.
Yes, and then she'd show me, and then I was like, you know what, let me do it. And then I did a video where I was talking, you know, like, you know, those TikToks where people were using a sound. And then I remember ZX, I remember this so well. It's like a cinematic thing in my head. ZX Online dropped a video showing people how to use TikTok, like how she does transitions and stuff. And that's when I got more inspired, right? And then as and when I was doing content, I had this idea that why do I not, I love makeup and stuff, right? Even though I started with weight loss content, I still do have a passion for looking
Makeup.
pretty, you know. And I think the reason why I didn't do that is because, one, of course, the reason why I started my channel was for weight loss, and number two, it was just so congested. There's so many beauty influencers and stuff. I'm like, what would make me different?
Exactly.
You know? That's when Osinzwaki was born. So I had this thing, how would I want people to teach me stuff?
Yes.
You know, because Afrikaans was hard, and they taught it in the way they wanted to teach it. Like, it did not resonate, it did not relate to me. I'm like, it'll be cool, my aunt or whatever, the way we speak at home.
The way you understand.
Exactly, because I mentioned these people because these are the people that contributed to my growth, whether 1%, 2%, it's just the people that come across, you know, like O's Beauty. She's the lady that was, when my grandmother was just sickly at the time, she helped, you know, take care of her and stuff. So she's basically part of family. So I can O's Beauty, you know, that's how I just took it back. You know, O's Beauty, it's a so, you know, that's how we speak back home. And then I was like, let me just put that on camera. And then I remember the first video I did, it was when I was showing brows. So I was like, since I do this. So that resonated to a lot of people. I remember that video, the first week it reached like 200,000 views or something.
Sure.
I've never had more than 100 views.
Excitement.
Something. So please. So I was like, okay, clearly I'm onto something here. That's how the video started. Started doing Osinzwakis and stuff. And then what gave me the confidence is now the lives that I started doing, going on lives now, being myself, speaking the way I spoke, you know. And I saw that a lot of people wanted that because there was too much, oh my word, there's eyeshadow. And you put the eyeshadow like this. And I have to speak with a twang so that people can relate. And it's not going to happen.
People can't relate to that.
Now, you know, we're South African and we need to tell our own stories, you know. So I was very passionate about that if we're going to say we're getting into this YouTube space, why are we trying to give stories from back there? The reason for all this is for people that side to learn
how we live as well.
Exactly. So I was very intentional about that one thing I'm going to do is give authentic, realistic content that's not going to take out from me. I always used to also complain a lot. What's that, guys? The influencer, the YouTube, the vlog. That's why I struggled a lot with vlog. Also, so I was saying, we get this breakfast in reality. Exactly. That is not relatable, you know. So I wanted to just take away that stigma and just say, listen, it's our stories. That's what we do.
This just shows the importance of being your full self, your authentic self.
Exactly.
People are drawn to that.
Yeah, that part. So that was nice to. It was nice for people to accept me as I am.
Yes.
You know, I can still look pretty. Michelle Obama, but that's where I'm from. You know, and I'm proud of that. You know, like I'm that girl. So I'm not gonna take that away just because that's not gonna happen.
Now, you mentioned, Hore, you only started growing traction with your various platforms 2 years ago?
Let's say
you
a year ago.
A year ago.
Proper growth last year,
So, but that's a lot because I was also looking at social media and thinking it's quite hard to grow a following. My God, it is hard.
It is. Yo, you know how the thing is, we think that people are dumb, and people can read through the camera. So the minute you do things just to get followers, you're not going to get the followers. Be authentic and give people what they want to see in terms of being natural with what you're doing. That's how people will gravitate towards you. But the minute now you are doing, it's not going to, you know, give you what you want. So find your niche, that's what they call it, and stick to it. You know, that's how you'd grow. Because now
Need a photo studio? The Dreamstream Photo Studio includes a 2.7-meter PVC backdrop in black and white and is available for only 115 rands per hour. You can also rent a Canon R6 and lights. All rentals are for studio use only. Terms and conditions apply. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za.
Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is Son of Augustine. Let's go.
Especially with my Instagram, I think that's what shocked me most. My Instagram, it was a struggle. I've been on like 2,000 followers for a while.
Yeah.
And the time Hanaki filled 5,000, it was a celebration.
Sure.
And it took a while. And I think I reached 5,000 like 2 years ago, somewhere there. And the minute I brought what I took from TikTok, Kenya Instagram, it just went up. Like it was actually quite unreal.
So there's always a strategy behind it.
It's a strategy. Now this is where my relationship with God comes in, because with me everything goes with prayer and purpose.
Yes.
I don't just do things. I pray about things first. I pray about every move I do, you know. So the minute I do something that satisfies the flesh,
Yeah.
how na moetlo at him, because
Yeah.
Mudim is watching,
Yeah.
you know. So all the things I do is to magnify him. So now you'd see my content is sort of transitioning, or intentionally transitioning, to me giving awareness to not awareness, I'll use that word, to my Christian journey.
Yeah.
Like now when I vlog, my vlogs are based on my walk with God, with
Yeah.
Jesus, and how I'm growing towards it, you know, and motivating those that are like sort of low in faith.
Yeah.
You know, every day on Instagram I put a quote on scripture and explaining it, and the story how I come about those quotes. It's a whole other miracle on its own. Quickly, I met a lady first time at the church. Like it was my first time at the church I'm at, literally last year around this time. Go to church, you go into what they call partnership course. So in the partnership course, it's when you go there, you learn about the church, and then you decide if you want to join in terms of volunteering and all that.
Okay.
So I met a lady, she's an old lady, her name is Andrea Holmes, right? Never seen her again after that night. We just spoke, like literally when I was sitting, she's like, come sit right next to me. She's like this old white lady, she's loving, she's like a mom, you know. And then I'm sitting right next to her, she's like, give me your number and then we're gonna meet, I'm gonna come and serve with you, we're gonna be the best as a friend. Like you know, I'm sitting
Ibeli.
scriptures.
Nice.
I copy it and I paste it all the time. That's all I do. The whole year last year, copy it and I paste it, and without fail. There's always a person coming, oh, I needed this word. Oh, my
Yes.
word, I was low in faith. I really, really needed to hear this. I really need, there's days where she'll probably be away or whatever the case, and then I wouldn't post at a certain time. I'll get messages, oh, word of the day,
what are you
like what's
posting?
happening,
Yeah.
you know? So I know there's a greater purpose for my platforms. It's not just makeup,
Yeah.
because God can speak through everything.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's
So this is beyond just content creation. This is like a ministry
it is.
for you.
Ew, that's a scary word.
No, it is, hey?
Yeah,
It
definitely.
really is. If you're touching people's lives,
Yeah.
then you really
Yeah.
need to take that in and be grateful for that.
Yeah, and in my head when I'm doing these things, it's just showing people, to just
Yeah.
make people feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really think that I'm going to be life changing to some people, but the testimonies I keep getting lately, especially this week, I'm just like, yo,
Yeah.
nah,
Get
Lord, it's getting too much. But I love how, you know what I mean, God is using these things to just get people to just have hope again, because people are dying left. We were just talking earlier, people are just dying,
Exactly.
and it's giving so much anxiety that we had COVID scares and all those things, you know. That on its own, we can't be normal right now. We need something to lead on to. The only thing is God, you know.
What is the space or the field that you're in right now taught you about patience?
Right now or prior, where I was working?
Either way,
Just-
prior,
yeah,
right now,
yeah, so
in the midst of it.
So I was a legal secretary until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I worked at a law firm, very, very nice law firm. It's called Evershed Sutherland. If you are a big company and you
You'll
need
know
somebody,
it.
they are top T.
Yeah.
I do my suits in real life. That is that. Like, oh, Eversheds, right?
Yeah.
So I was working at Eversheds for like about 4 years now. And prior to that, I was working at other law firms. So I've got quite a bit of experience.
Yeah.
And towards the end of my my time with the corporate side, the patience is just waiting on God. Because you'd want to do something right now, and God is like, not now.
Wait.
Not now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even doubt, is it,
Yeah, yeah.
is it my mind? You know, it's not now. No, until God gave me a date, 15th. You resigning, 15th of December. I had this date long ago in my head, right? But the time to tell my bosses that I'm leaving, God was like, not now.
Yeah.
Not now. Until
Yeah.
a day, he's like, okay, push.
Yeah.
I was,
You felt it. Hore,
listen,
this
and
is
it was so seamless because the bosses were in there, and I just sat inside. I'm like, okay, guys,
Yeah.
time is up.
Yeah.
You know? And my boss was like, I thought he was going to be whatever, because prior to that, I had another job. I did try to resign. They're like, no, you can't leave. They gave me a counter offer and all those things. So when God says it's time, so that's why you have to constantly trust in him and just be patient. Yes, Nama. It's like we battle with our own flesh and with what God wants. You know. So me, it's just learning that what I feel is temporary, and I shouldn't make. I said this on my last vlog. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you want to do something and then you do it on an instant instead of listening to what God is saying. So for me, patience is just being calm, listening to what God is saying, and then going when he says you should, you know. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I want us to go back to your journey through content creation, right? I know there's a lot of people that are watching right now that probably want to get into that space as well. And they, you know, some are struggling when it comes to followership and all that, and they want to now go into a field where they collaborate with various brands. I know that's something you also do a lot. How do they now start? How do they get about in knowing, okay, these are the brands that I want to collaborate with? And also, how do brands look at an individual? That's probably struggling, Velu, with following.
So it's a lot. So numbers in what I do, it's currency.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, numbers are currency. It's either numbers of followers you have, the numbers of views you have, the engagement you have. That is currency. So you need to build that. So the first thing I'd say, now I'm talking to a person who literally has 0 followers, right? So the first thing I'd advise is get TikTok. TikTok is one of the fastest way to get followers with being yourself. You know, introduce yourself to people. When I say introduce yourself to people, is do what you want to do in terms of the content. Don't now go and say get to know me tag. We don't care about that. Like because I don't have time to get to know what your favorite color is. That there's no time for that, you know. So just do the videos that you want to be known for, you know, and perfect it, you know. Be consistent. A film and plan your content, you know, and don't wait now about like camera is wrong or whatever the case. I started with my phone. Yes. Start with your phone, you know, use your back camera. There's a lot of tutorials. Go University of YouTube. YouTube is such a great, YouTube is amazing. YouTube is amazing, you know, and you get money for posting on there. I haven't gotten a lot of money from YouTube personally, but it's money. It's money that you just do. You post and then, you know what I mean? So just be consistent. Consistency is key in this. Consistent, gain the trust, because consistency will give you trust from people that you don't just post today and then 2 months. Respect your viewers, you know? And those principles, I promise you, they will come across to people. People will see, this person, I can trust that if keep out consistent and because people get really like
invested as well.
You know, when you meet people outside, they feel like, you know, they know you and they don't. But you need to gain that trust so that when people come back to you, they know that you're going to deliver, right? That's when the brands come in. So when the brands see that you've got a whole community, consistency, people listen to what you say, people trust is very important. People trust what you say. That's when they'll put their money where their mouths are, you know. But I want to say, because you have to put in the hours, you have to scrap the floors here and there.
9 to 5.
Know? Listen, you have to put in the hours. So when a brand says get over these products, go and get the video, just do it. You know, just get the free promotions. Like Yo.
I remember you mentioned even with the hair, you would do a
a
lot
lot of
free.
free promotion.
Yeah.
So with me, my story is a bit more different.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that I give back in a way of helping smaller businesses, especially with like your small black-owned lady
Yes.
businesses. I do those for free for them. So mine is different.
Yeah.
But when I have like the bigger brands and everything, I do have a rate card now because obviously now
Of
it's a
course,
business,
of
But
course.
how kala? And put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I remember there was a day where I went on LinkedIn. I was searching a PR L'Oreal, PR this, and all the names, like LinkedIn is great. The names that
fantastic.
and then I sent inboxes,
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a small content creator. Please lead me into the right direction for your PR agent or whatever the case. I'd like to work with you. Let me just show you what I can do. Give me a chance. Use those keywords because people can see that you are eager to work. That's what I did. And I remember L'Oreal came back to me. They're like, oh, we're using this agent. I was like, perfect. Contacted them, They never came back to me until I grew, and then they sent me an email. They're like, oh, we saw you here. But also it's business, because they won't just, nobody will
Trust
just
their
come.
brand.
Yes, you need to present yourself in such a way that the brand will feel comfortable to be associated with you, because I mean they've worked so hard to build what they're building. Now you're not going to come here and ruin their name. So I think that's like a good start point for somebody. Just build the trust, be consistent, and find your niche.
Find your niche. Now let's talk about following. You have how many following on your various platforms?
I haven't even checked yet. I checked Instagram though. Actually, I'm almost on 90K. I'm on 89.5. Which when I in hindsight, I used to be like 90K on Insta. That was unreachable. And now I'm here and I'm like, okay, I'm literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at other people, that now the comparing spirit and stuff, which shouldn't
course.
happen. I'm just like, I've got a lot of work to do. So Instagram, it's there. I'm almost 89 point something. And then TikTok, I'm almost on 200,000. And then we on YouTube, where it's a struggle. I just hit 13,000 just a few weeks back. And then in Facebook, funny enough, is growing.
Yeah.
I think I'm reaching 10K very soon. I'm like 6,000-7,000 there. So it's growing here and there. So I'm fairly small in the eyes of the big sharks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm bigger to a person allowing 0 followers, But also you'd be surprised how much engagement you get with less followers than a person that has
with huge followers, which is
Exactly.
crazy.
That's where the trust comes in.
Yeah.
So when you look at my percentages and my analytics and stuff, I typically get a little bit more engagement than your average 1 million, 3 million, whatever followers or whatever. And I might be mistaken, but I know I remember Kilabuale. I shouldn't say her name because she's a lady, but she's more known, Kibatu Papadi aesthetics. Like, she's taking pictures in swimsuits and stuff and all that. She's a lovely person. But people don't typically follow her for what she's selling.
Okay.
They just want to see her, So when a brand would come there and say, please sell my makeup, it won't appeal to the audience per se, because that's not what she's, unless she changes her market and stuff. And also the people that follow me, it's 97% women. So that's the audience that they want to reach, That's why a brand would typically come to me than a person fella asa, you understand?
Yes.
So it's like you need to understand the industry. You need to, it took me 6 years to get here, so.
Yeah. You touched on comparison.
Yeah.
It's something that you do, but you try so hard not to do it.
Yeah.
How do you now get to a place where you don't compare yourself with other people? Because we are in a space where you see people doing so much better.
Yeah.
And in that way, we feel like it's them pushing you to do better.
Well, okay, there's inspiration and there's just comparing yourself.
Yeah.
So knowing who you are and knowing whose you are is very important.
Yeah.
When you step into a room, you know exactly who you are. Now I'm a child of God. I know exactly who I am.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get there. It took me a long while to get there, that I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident in what I believe in, so that does not shake me. So that sort of transitioned, or that just transformed my my comparison to being inspired
Ah,
when I look
okay.
at somebody doing better than I am or better than I am, quote unquote, because it might not be better. It might just be something different.
Yes.
You know? So I'll just take it as
On my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show. I ain't never
Are you a musician?
all I know. My eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise like
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour.
we work for a fall in line. We gon' give it our all until the end of time.
It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
inspiration.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love that. And I force who compliment.
Yeah.
It takes away that envy, you know, that,
course,
yeah,
yes.
it takes it away. So
Yeah.
I force it. I'm like, oh, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean it at the time, even though the flesh, you know, welcome.
Ibatla ba stoned. Yeah.
You know, so it really, really helps to just fight that and just be nice to people. You know, that thing, yeah, I know a lot of ladies will relate, that thing of how can I go
Yes.
why kata obe nice.
Yeah.
Hi ladies, how
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Le hantle ka jeno, oh, you look beautiful. That, I promise you, eliminates all that mess. Ga ratana re le basadi, you know, when you
Yes.
get to the room, there's no that comparison. Oh, nana, oh, betere, bona lesha, wara, also performing. You understand?
yeah.
So you cut all that out with just being humble, being nice to people. We pay fats. Don't think of yourself as better than the next person, because you don't know the person's story. And you'll never
Exactly.
know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you need to just be humble. Humbleness just kills everything else, honestly.
What's that one thing you would like to achieve? You know, that one thing where you look at in future to say, if I achieve that one thing, I'm done.
Oh, I
You're
know.
set.
Sekele kololi Beyonce, when are you flying in, darling? You know what, ne? Beyonce don't say
Are
that.
my
And
friend.
it's just it's not even like Beyonce's God. You know, it's just a level.
Yeah.
Thing. Because I feel like we idealize these people.
Yes.
And when we idolize them and put them in this pedestal, we serve a jealous God.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and we need to just treat them as people, as great as they've done. Like we respect them so much. Like, yo, that woman has done a lot,
Yeah.
you know. So now when I get to a point where I'm phone like, Paolo, yeah, I've got a sheet here and there, and I'd love for you to just come with
sign
me.
an
Yeah,
NDA.
just, yeah. I'm like, oh, shabby. No, but like, when do I fly in?
Yeah.
No, you can, whatever. I'm like, no, that's fine. No, my private jet is ready. So I want that, not to, just to show people that it's possible.
Yeah.
Go on, look at Trevor Noah. Look at Kimang Tuto, Kimang Bedua.
Bedua, yeah.
Yes, it's reachable. I don't know why we feel like people from that side, they are untouchable.
We can't attain that height.
You can. They've got two hands like us.
Yeah.
They've got, you know, there's blind people that are doing great. Look at Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
You know, so I just want to normalize
Yeah. Yes.
you know. So I just want to get to a point where I just show people that you just need to be yourself. Yes, you're gonna love a person and show affection. Oh, I'm a fan or whatever. Mare, that's 5 seconds. After that, what's you laying today?
Exactly.
O kakile?
Eh.
Ke re kakile? Ra bina? Ra bohla?
Re batho.
Re batho. You know, it happens. So don't. Hey man, I'm very comical when I do
Yeah.
things. So that's how I just see it. Like the point where I get to a point where I'm just like normal with the average person that people think they are.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't touch, you know.
Yes.
That's when I'll know. I've done what I needed to do in this kingdom.
Now, before we wrap it up, what's your biggest achievement?
So far, I'm gonna. Whoa. I don't know.
Nahana nganyana.
The thing is,
Dingata
last year
vele.
was so crazy.
Yeah.
God has been so good. Ke palame sefofane for the first time last
Sure.
year. So, I think so far is winning the award actually, because it was such a beautiful moment, you know, being recognized by such a beautiful, like such a respected, exceptional,
Yeah.
industry or what's this called company. So like DSTV, like
Yes.
a whole DSTV saw me and they're like, girl, you know, we're presenting you with this. It was beautiful to be on stage with like exceptional people looking
Yeah.
at me, you know. That was one of my biggest. Being chosen by YouTube for an all expenses paid trip to Ghana.
Nice.
I've never been on an airplane, and the first time I go on an airplane, God sends me outside of South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, that's huge for me as well. Getting brand deals with brands that I've always used, Maybelline. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I use these things every day, and
Yeah.
now they're like, actually, we're gonna pay you to do that, and it's nice.
But it just also shows that hard work and consistency, man. It pays off eventually,
it pays off.
hey?
And being yourself.
Yeah.
And being yourself. Obe wena, o kila bona, ke rata dintho man.
Yes.
You know, ke tlo by myself, ke bua Sotho, ntse ke rata leshe
Yeah.
telele, you know.
Eh, le hili.
Well, hili, hey,
Here
hili
and
ba
there.
betere now because they slender, you know.
Yeah.
Because now I'm on a weight loss journey. I've lost 12 kgs.
Nice.
So that's a whole other journey now. That's probably going to be a whole other side of my page. So there's a lot of achievements, but I mean, what tops it all is finding Jesus in my life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Kopa o advise a girl, a boy that now wants to go into content creation. How can they?
How can
you
they
know,
get into
get
it?
in?
You're good at this, by the way. I want to say, like,
Thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank
yeah,
you.
like it's good. I love it. So the first thing is just do it. I know it's cliche, and I always say I know it's cliche, but I know it's cliche. Just do it. Be yourself. Be consistent. Be humble. Humble yourself, and just do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't wait. Don't do anything. Yes, and everything else will fall into place. Don't ignore that small voice,
Yes.
because that's what will kickstart everything. You know, to the Christians, God is a God of action.
Yes.
He just wants to see if Otomo Mamela with the small things,
Yeah.
and then He's gonna
Trust you
know,
with the big
With the big
things.
things. So for hanyane fela ntse fa di sente fela.
Yeah.
A re 10,000 nyana mona bona o etsang. A sheba kwana a bona go etsang ka yona.
Hurry.
E ka re wa etsa 100,000.
Yeah.
A ba sheba kwana.
Yeah.
Ha qeta ba million. O bo sa tsebetseng. O itla I blew it. So He doesn't want us to be on I blew it. He wants us to magnify Him and use Him in all that we do. So make sure that everything that you do, if it's not social media, it's not social media.
Yeah.
But make sure everything that you do is for the greater purpose.
Paolo, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I
This was
appreciate you. Thank you for your
fun.
time.
This was fun. Thank you for having me.
And to you, viewers, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.